Hi guys, I have with me here today 10 lessons that I've learned in spending $10,000 on starting a fashion brand. So I have talked to so many different types of fashion brand owners and just people who view starting a fashion brand in their own way. Like, let's face it, like, fashion brands is definitely like a idealized like dream job for so many people. We see the cute pictures on Pinterest and on Instagram. What I think that we don't realize is the different areas of a fashion brand that come together to make it successful and profitable. I lean heavily into the profitability of a fashion brand, mainly because maybe the fashion brand people that I am around focus more so on the actual product that they're creating, and they don't really take it into a mass manufacturing level, which is fine. I know that they have different ways and paths that I don't understand, but I'm going to talk about the ways that I understand. If you make your own clothes, you're so inspiring. I also make my own clothes, but I heavily focus on being able to delegate those clothing brands out, or the making of the clothing out, once I am able to like finalize the design that I really like. Anyways, that brings me to numero uno. Fashion is a business. You need business skills. You're selling a product. This might be the end of your fantasy. If your fantasy has always been to make cute clothes and sell them, you have to be able to sell. And it's not that hard to be able to sell, guys. You just have to love what you're selling. You just have to know who you're selling to, and it's not that hard. I'm not trying to scare you. Sales scares a lot of people. Sales is a good thing. I love being sold to if I like what I'm being sold. I'm sold so many things. Look at my room. How many things in this room did I buy? I bought that canvas. I bought those mailers. I bought my 3 sewing machines. I bought all this fabric. Those all sold to me. Anyways, whatever. So yeah, if you want to be able to pay your bills, at the very least, you have to learn these skills. You also need to learn how to speak to manufacturers. Even if you don't think that you have the money yet to go through with manufacturing, I would recommend starting to talk to manufacturers, because they're kind of the key into scaling. If you just start and be honest with them, because they will remember you in like a year or 2 years when you come back and you actually are ready, they will remember you. And so make sure that you leave a really positive impression on your manufacturers. And be honest, be like, hey, I am just looking right now. I've just started my search for manufacturing. Right now, I'm still in the phase of product development at home, but I will be ready to hand this off to somebody soon. I just want to know kind of what your MOQs are, what your pricing is, where you source, all the things. Just start asking them questions. This also provides you with a lot of leverage because you're not necessarily desperate. Okay, learn how to delegate. This is part of the business skills. Learn how to delegate. Everything that you don't want to do, delegate it. Guys, for example, I'm very blessed to have a mom that has a QuickBooks account, because I use my mom's QuickBooks account, and I also call my mom once a week as though it's a business meeting, and I say, hey mom, will you help me organize last week's transactions? Will you help me update my profit and loss sheet, aka my loss sheet so far, because I don't have any product to make a profit on. We're making lots of losses right now, which is expected, and which should have been a bullet point on here, but it's not. I'm gonna write it on. I'm just gonna say it right here. Here's a sub one. You're gonna take so many losses financially and probably within your designs and community and all that in your first year, more than any other year in business, because you don't know what to spend your money on. I'm like, should I buy 3 sewing machines? Will that actually do good? Should I buy these clips? Should I buy this like waistband from the fabric store to try to make a design? Like, should I like buy the samples for these? These are the most expensive thing that I own right now. That piece of clothing cost me $1,000. 'We'll get into that later. But yeah, just be prepared. You're gonna take some losses, a lot of them, before you make it into your profits. So be ready for that. Number 2, you don't need to be a designer to have a fashion brand. AKA, you don't need to be a designer to sell clothes or to even make clothes. You can, and this is the most common way to make clothing in the clothing industry. You can give them a piece of clothing that you already love and tell them, will you make this? You put your own label on it. You maybe change the fabric, you change the sleeve length, you change how far the collar comes down. Instead of a gold zipper, you put a black zipper. You add a little extra fluff. You just change it slowly until it's yours, but you start with somebody else's that's perfected. Honestly, I would tell you not to start with your own pieces at the beginning, to start by replicating other people's clothing because their construction is going to be way better. You want to look at clothing that, I'm trying to find an example in here, but I don't think I do. You want to find clothing that's already properly constructed because the construction of your clothing it's the devil in the details. You want to make good clothes because you want someone to wear your clothes and you want them to be like, holy crap, I love living in this. I feel so confident. For me, I love feeling like snatched in my clothing. I'm very, very picky about the way that my clothes fit me, which is why I do a lot of my own sewing, because I'm like, this doesn't fit me right. I need it to fit like this. And so whatever. If you're a creative person and you like to design and you romanticize about being the girl who's like, actually, you're like, I made this piece of clothing from scratch. Like, I know the ins and outs of this clothing. I designed the way that it fits. I can make a tech pack. Girl, do that, but don't let that be your ceiling, because then you need to be able to scale this. We want profitable clothing brands. Not everybody likes to talk about profit. I'm sorry. I'm a businesswoman at heart. Probably over a designer, but the designer thing is really coming out me. I low-key love that bit. We want profits. Sorry. I want to be able to pay my bills. I also want to be able to buy a nice car, and I want to probably be able to buy a house one day. You know, I don't want to be limited financially, and so it comes down to your business skills. Let's see. Inventory management. We'll make this a really quick one. Let me show you an improper way of managing your inventory. What you don't want to do is stick all your clothes in a blue bucket, or like just shove them in a bucket. Everything comes like plastic wrapped usually. That's pretty industry standard. I was fortunate enough to be able to afford to do a tester experimental brand before the big one. I went to LA Fashion District in person and I just shopped and bought all the cotton clothing that I saw. I spent probably $900 on a few pieces. I know how tempting you're gonna be like, I'm gonna iron it and make it look really pretty. Leave this seal on the bag. Leave the seal on the bag. Customers are probably gonna be way happier with getting a sealed bag in a slightly maybe wrinkled, like compressed piece of clothing than a piece of clothing that has been taken out of the bag. It's like got your fingerprints on it. It's got like some oil or grease. It smells like your house. I don't care if your house smells great and like the most beautiful smelling house in the world. Not everyone's gonna love the smell of your house. Also, a lot of people have weird allergies of like fragrances. So if you like a certain fragrance and now it's on the piece of clothing, people are gonna be like allergic to it. Seal it. Leave that shit in the bag. What you do want to do is account for like a certain amount of inventory. I would say like one of each size that you take out of the bag. You let people wear it. You use it for photo shoots. I would lose track. I would be like, did I use this piece or this piece for the last photo shoot? Then I would be shooting on the beach. And I'm like, I don't know if this was on the beach or not. And you're like, is that one kind of dirty? Like that looks kind of dirty, but like, are they gonna notice? Yeah, they're gonna notice. Be like, why are the cuffs on my pants like dirty? Whatever. Number 4, the bit everybody tries to avoid. You need a finance department from like day one. Day one. Even if it's you in the finance department, you need that shit to be like, you need to know how much money you've spent so that you can start figuring out how much money you need to bring in, because you're starting a business. Businesses need to be profitable. And to be profitable, you have to keep track of your finances. This one sucks. I use my mom. She has a QuickBooks. Thanks, Mom. Shout out. If you don't have a mom with a QuickBooks, I would honestly recommend looking at ChatGPT and just asking it to with an app. Set you up with an app. These apps are your overhead. I know it sucks, but it's like you don't have a storefront. You have e-commerce. Finance department is, you're gonna need that. Whew, for tax season, do not avoid that one. Keep it up. Set a time, weekly or monthly, no less than monthly. I want to say at least say every 2 weeks, where you are like putting everything down. Phone is on do not disturb. You're deep in your credit card deep in your credit card history. Number 5, learn to cost. What are your margins? This is the fast one. Margin is basically just how much room you have for like everything else. So like say that you're gonna pay your manufacturer $40 for that bra. That's a really high cost for that bra, by the way. But if you go to China, that bra will probably be about $12, just so you know. If you go to LA, it'll probably be around $48. It just tells you how much wiggle room you have. What are people willing to pay for that product? It's like, say that costs you $40, you're gonna sell it for $90. You have $50 of wiggle room. You need to count now, how much is shipping gonna cost? How much is my custom packaging gonna cost? You have to like spend on paid ads and stuff. Like, you know what's crazy? Learn to make content. I've done a lot of A/B testing. I've done some really polished content that I'm like, this one's so cute and it's so energetic. 0 followers from it because it's almost like just too like, it's almost like too perfect where people are like, what's going on? But the ones where I just like sit there and I talk and I'm like, I just don't even know how I sound in this one, those convert. A lot of the times the videos that I make really, really fast, I'm like, oh my god, guys, look at this, converts. So throw the messy ones out there, but also throw the clean ones out there because the clean ones are fun to make and whatever, it adds. Yeah, the best content is always the one where they can see your face and where they can hear your voice. People like to like, I know faceless advertising is a thing, but like honestly, like for me that shit does not hit. I'm like show me your face, show me like who's behind this. Anyways, number 7, be patient while you learn what your strengths are. Have enough margins to be able to delegate the rest. I would have never guessed that I like to sew. I love the designing portion, and a lot of people will say, you're not a designer. I'm probably not a designer, but I love to sew and construct pieces in my own way. And whatever that makes me, it is what it is. But I've made some really cool pieces and I love sewing. And so I need to be able to have enough margins to be able to delegate, and not really be, I don't want to be like chained to anything, you know what I mean? I would have never guessed that's something that I would be strong at. Great. Believe in your ability to sell any product and then you can't mess up. Don't get stuck on this very first launch. That's also number 9, so 8 and 9. Don't get stuck on your first launch. You just need to get a product. Don't worry about like, and then you need to be able to sell that product for more than you bought it for and for more than it's going to cost to like ship it to them and stuff. As long as you get that with that first launch, you're gold. Just worry about that on that first launch. Don't worry about like literally anything else. Make sure it's a good product. Make sure you can sell it so that people want to come back for more. And honestly, I'd say after someone buys from you, touch point, send them a text or something, especially in a first brand. Like people, I don't expect Lululemon to text me after I buy something, the fuck, but I do expect like whenever I buy from like a girl on TikTok, I'm like, and then like she clearly is like small and then she doesn't like text me or like say anything after that. I'm like, do you even care? Like, bruh. And so give them a little text point. That's it. Number 10, have a backup plan for how you're gonna make money, or like don't quit your job right away. I've done some door-to-door sales. I serve now. I got a job serving. Have a backup plan, take some pressure off yourself, but in that free time, don't waste your time watching movies and all that other shit that's like, God, like stop wasting your damn time, guys. If you want a successful brand and you don't have like, and you have to have another job, that means your hours off, like you gotta be like, you cannot rely on motivation. You have to rely on, this is what I'm doing today. I have to do this. And trust me, it feels really good to do the things that you like think that you don't want to do. But you have to peel away from some things. You can't go to the pub after work. You need to go get your ass home. And you need to be designing shit, talking to manufacturers, setting up meetings, reaching out to people who already have brands and just set up meetings. You just need to be about it. And then you're gonna be all right. And don't be afraid to take the big risks. This is number 11. I love the bonus one. Do not be afraid to take the big risks, guys. Like, you'll be surprised at how you will rise to meet the girl that needs, or the guy. You'll rise to become the person that you need to become in order to make it work. You just will. Like, so take the risk, put the down deposit in, ask for the loan, like, do what you need to do so that you'll make it, you know what I mean? The first few years are gonna be really hella imperfect, like, and it'll always be imperfect, but like, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Anyways, if you guys found this helpful, or, you know, if you like have any questions that you want answered, like, let me know in the comments. I just like talking about fashion. I think it's the funnest thing on the planet. Like, it's literally what we wear, and it influences how we feel and how we show up for the day and how other people see us and the reactions. I love attention and getting good reactions from other people, to be honest. So yeah, I'm gonna wear clothes that make me like get a good reaction from other people. So yeah, so you got it, guys. At the very least, just go look at your Pinterest board and see what Pinterest things that you've saved in the fashion department, and then probably that's where your clothing line should be inspired from, because I know my Pinterest board is literally like the exact brand that I ended up kind of starting. There's no coincidence. Anyways,